This is the Reds Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good afternoon, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the Postcast brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm Tim Daniel. I'm in my second season here at Locked On, and I want to thank you for spending some time with me today as we discuss the Cincinnati Reds taking an 8-3 loss to the Detroit Tigers, unable to complete the sweep. On today's show, well, the Reds getaway day issues continue as Detroit is leaving here with a win. We're going to talk about the fact that the bullpen and defense had bad days, which is very rare. And JJ Bleday hits a homer in his Reds debut. So we're at least going to have to celebrate something big there, nice there as well. Let's go ahead and let's get started.
This is what you'll be talking about.
When will the Reds figure this thing out? They do have 2 sweeps this year against Texas and Minnesota. I get that. But it seems like, and I get it, it's really hard to sweep a team. But I feel like we're seeing this story a little too often these days where the Reds are going into game 3 and they get beat pretty bad. I mean, they lost by 5 runs today, and they had the lead for, a lot of this game today. So Detroit starts out, gets the first 2 runs of the game. Rhett Lowder looks like he's struggling there, and the Reds bounce back. I mean, you get a nice home run from Nate Lowe. You get a nice home run from JJ Bleday, which we'll get to later in the show. And they're up 3-2 after the 5th. And then you see that, it just kind of, the wheels kind of fell off there. And look, the bullpen was probably due for a bad day, right? I mean, they've been lights out all year. But this was a game where it felt like they just kind of let it go. And I feel like if, Rhett Lowder gets through 5 with 7 strikeouts, looks much better after the first inning. You feel pretty good there. Brock Burke does have 2 walks, doesn't look like himself, but still gets through it. Sam Moll has his first really bad outing. He has a third of an inning, gives up the couple runs there. Only 1 earned though. And then Pierce Johnson can't get through his, and then Jose Franco has to kind of go and do mop-up duty. But I'm glad they won 2 out of 3. And obviously I'm glad that they are, continuing to win series. And I'm happy they're 18-10 in their first 28 games. Like, all that's great. And we're not going to complain about that. I just think it's just that consistency here to figure out how to win that 3rd game in the series is their next step. And they didn't do it today. They got the Rockies coming up who have been really up and down. We know that the Rockies are normally not very good. So it's just kind of that next step they have to take. And I think Brantley talked about this recently too, where they just kind of need that, I wouldn't say killer instinct, but just taking that next step is going to be just figuring out how to sweep these games and kind of maximizing as many wins as you possibly can. They didn't do it today. That happens. You have days like today where Sal Stewart and Ellie De La Cruz combined for 1 hit and 4 strikeouts as between the 2. And sometimes those 2 are going to have bad days too. But there are other things about this that kind of jump out that, you really need to look at. So 1 of 6 with runners in scoring position today. Multiple times they had guys on second and third they couldn't bring in. That sucks. But sweeps are hard and they're winning a lot of games. So you kind of can deal with that. And then you look at just kind of not being able to consistently get more hits together is the hard part. I mean, today, Brian Hayes, TJ Friedl, Matt McLain, all extra base hits. Nate Lowe and JJ Bleday have extra hits. So 5 of their 7 hits, they were extra base hits and they still lost. Bullpen was due for a bad day, right? And if they don't have a bad day, who knows? Maybe we're having a different conversation. But at the end of the day, the Reds do take a loss here and they're still playing really good baseball. I'm not going to look at this one and say like, man, they really let this one go and they're going to lose the division because of this one. Still in first place, still getting series wins, still have a chance to get a series again starting on Tuesday at home. I like where things are with this team. I don't like that they lost today, but I'm not going to sit here and throw a pissy fit. Just wasn't their day. Detroit, they're a pretty talented team. I know they came into this game 500, but they're a team that's going to always find a ways to put the games together. They did it today. And, hats off to them. Would love to see the Reds get the sweep. Have another chance on Tuesday to get a sweep. So we'll talk about that as well. Let's kind of talk about this too, because I think when I talk about the bullpen part, the Reds have really been able to rely a lot on bullpen and infield defense a lot this year. It's kind of been the thing that's really kept them going and kept them in their way. And look, they had a double play they turned today between another 5-4-3. Ke'Bryan Hayes getting an error is not something you expect a lot. If you had a day where you say Ke'Bryan Hayes had a triple and an error, you wouldn't believe a word I was saying. But that's what his day was today. Had a triple and an error. He's swinging the bat much better. I mean, I got to give him credit there. But to see him kind of have an error is definitely something that's not normal. So that was kind of surprising. But, having him have that error there, and then TJ Friedl still playing center field, still, didn't have an error today, but still missing balls that he should get, that normal center fielders get, is kind of frustrating as well. So I don't know what the answer is. Maybe it's, get an outfielder that can play consistently. That would be nice. Maybe it's Dane Myers, just play center field every day. And, against righties, you hit him at the bottom of the order. Who knows? But I like where this team's at. And I'm not going to have today rain on the parade and just kind of cancel everything they've done this year. I mean, really, I thought they hit the ball pretty well today, all in all. I know they had 7 strikeouts, but, 7 hits and 2 walks. I think we take that most days. And most days that probably wins you the game. So there'll be better days. They'll have days where they have like this and they'll win. So we kind of roll with it. We see what happens next. But one thing that was really nice to see was the debut of JJ Bleday getting his first call up with the Reds and having 2 really solid at-bats. So we're going to talk about JJ and more right after this. If you've got a sweet tooth like I do, you know how tough it is to find that perfect treat without all the sugar. That's why the Confetti Craze 5-hour energy shot brings that nostalgic flavor back in a whole new way. This is the classic taste you remember, but with a tasty caffeine boost and 0 sugar. It's a quick, easy way to satisfy that sweet craving while keeping things simple and on the go. I've always loved birthday cake, but I can't be eating sweets all day. This is a perfect alternative. Confetti Craze 5-hour shots taste just like birthday cake, vanilla and buttery flavors to let you be unapologetically extra and unstoppably energized. All cake, no sugar. You can have your cake and sip it too, minus any sugar guilt. I also like how convenient it is. It's just a small portable shot I can grab whenever I need to pick me up. It's become my go-to when I want something sweet without going overboard. The Funfetti flavor is back on 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Crack open Confetti Craze 5-hour energy shots today. ED is way more common than most guys think. Millions of guys deal with it at some point, and that's exactly why HIMS offers a straightforward way to handle it. HIMS connects you to licensed healthcare providers online, giving you access to legitimate ED treatment options from the comfort of your home. No awkward appointments, no pharmacy lines, just a straightforward process that makes it easier to take control of yourself. The whole process is simple. You just complete a quick online intake and a provider reviews your information. If treatment is right for you, it ships directly to your door in discreet packaging, which makes the whole experience feel private and stress-free. To get simple online access to personalized, affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/lockedonmlb. That's hims.com/lockedonmlb for your free online visit. hims.com/lockedonmvp. Prescription required. See website for details and important safety information. Sudafil is the generic version of Viagra. Viagra is a registered trademark of Viatris Specialty LLC. HIMS is not affiliated or endorsed by Viatris. Want to give a quick shout out to our everydayers here on the Reds Postcast. Thank you for spending time with me as always in wins and losses. I definitely appreciate it. And don't forget about the Locked On Everydayer Club. You go to lockedonpodcast.com/everydayer or to lockedonreds.supercast.com. $5 a month, $50 a year. You get access to all ad-free episodes from Locked On. You have our Discord chat. It's not just us here at Locked On Reds. I'm over at Locked On Cavs as well. Don't ask me about today. And we can go ahead and we're in there as well, chatting it up. So every Locked On host for their shows are in their rooms as well. And let's get to a little Locked On Player of the Game, shall we?
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Look, I get it. When you lose by 5 runs, it's really hard to pick a Locked On Player of the Game. But I want to give some shout out love to JJ Bleday and his 5.000 OPS. I know it's one game, but hits a homer in his Reds debut today. Also drew a walk. They bring in Dane Myers to hit for him later in the game. I'm not too upset about that. Myers had a hit as well, but JJ Bleday just kind of given that extra humph that we've been waiting for in his first appearance with the Reds. I think he's been a name that a lot of people have been watching as the outfielders have struggled of like, when's he going to get a chance? And his first time, he showed out. He gave them what they needed today. So that was really nice to see. I'm really excited to see if he can keep contributing to this team. Him and Nate Lowe both. Not just for the sake that they're hitting homers. They hit homers today, but Nate Lowe hitting homers every game of this Detroit series. Didn't have any going into the series. Leaves the Tigers leave with him having 4. So feels like Nate Lowe is going to be a nice big part of this team moving forward as well. Other guys I want to talk about, TJ Friedl. starting to really have good at bats. So I was pretty mean to him all year, I know. But that's nice to see. Steve talks about in the chat, Matt McLain really squaring it up, really drawing walks. I think he's been swinging the bat much better of late. I feel like this Matt McLain takeover is about to happen. So to get it in context, Matt's last 7 games, a 267 batting average, a 353 on base, and a 567 slugging with 2 homers, 6 runs batted in, 4 walks, 5 runs scored. So we're starting to see him get much better and starting to kind of be the Matt McLain we all suspected he'd be. Ellie and Sal, I know didn't necessarily have really good days today. Ellie does get a hit, but we're starting to see them kind of turn to, be who they are. I'm not too upset with Spencer Steer having an 0 for day. He's been playing pretty well of late and offensively. And then Jose Trevino comes back. Sure. There's that. But then Key Brian Hayes had a triple today. And I know that his 2 loud hits he's had the last couple of days have been basically because the outfield hasn't known how to play it. But we will take them, and we'll take them getting chances to be on base. So nice day for the Reds there offensively, at least a little bit. Missed chances, runners in scoring position. It just wasn't their day. You move on. We get to enjoy a day off tomorrow. I get to enjoy a day off tomorrow from both teams. And so we're going to go ahead and enjoy that. But the Reds are losers today to the Detroit Tigers, 8-3. The Tigers have 8 runs on 12 hits and an error. The Reds have 3 runs on 7 hits and an error. Brett Herter is your winner today. He is now 3-0 on the season. Sam Mull is 1-1 after the loss. He's now got a 2.19 ERA. And the Reds are back at it on Tuesday as it's Chase Burns Day. Chase Burns will be taking the hill for the Reds. He is 2-1 with a 2.57 ERA. The Rockies are yet to fully announce their probable pitchers for the series, but Tuesday's game will be at 6:40. So I'll see you guys about 9:15 or so. Everyone, thank you so much. Please be sure to stay tuned in for Jeff and Steve on Locked On Reds as they'll dive into the weekend as a whole and give their thoughts on Hall of Fame weekend, as well as the 3 games against the Tigers. I'm Tim Daniel. Everyone have a great rest of your week. I will see you all on Tuesday night.